books. There's 24 voices in it. There are everybody from the Greeks, the crazy Greeks, who we couldn't have done without, to the Palestinians, to those of us who were the organizers. And you're right, you will not be able to put it down. You won't be able to, most of the people that I've talked to who have read the book said they started reading it and they read all the way through the night.
It grips you.
Right, it grips you.
I've read good books, but...
And you do laugh out loud.
Oh.
Yeah, you do laugh out loud because there are things in here that are really pretty darn funny, considering that we didn't know what we were doing. So we've got about, 25 or so of these books, and they're just 10 pounds. That pretty much pays for the printing and getting them over here. By the way, you may get another 35. I'm not sure because we don't know where the original 35 went. These came FedEx yesterday at the very last minute, so you might end up with another 35. I'm not sure. But I encourage you to pick them up. It's a great investment. I'll be happy to sign them, and you'll have a little piece of history that you'll be able to take back and read about. Anybody have any questions? Nobody has any questions?
I do want to ask, actually, because you're here for the project that's running at the moment in Gaza, which is building a ship to actually take out of Gaza, take out produce and sail out as opposed to sailing in. And I think the project that Greta is running at the moment is to raise money to give to the project.
Yeah, and anything that's over 10 pounds will go to Gaza's Ark. That's what we've been doing.
I think, does everyone know about Gaza's Ark?
Do you all know about Gaza's Ark? We've talked about it a couple of times because I know I was on this thing talking about it once before. There have been 11 or 12 now voyages. 5 were successful. 6 or 7 of them were violently stopped, and you know the story about the passengers being murdered. And they say that were 9 passengers, but actually there are 10. There's one who's been in a coma since the night of the morning of the attack. So they've been stopped violently, whether it's been the Swedish boat or whether it's the Irish boat. They've all been stopped violently. So a group of Canadians said, we think that the best thing to do is sail a boat out of Gaza. And the money has been raised pretty much to put Palestinians to work refurbishing the boat. My friend Mary and a young woman by the name of Sinead McLaughlin, she's Irish, and I started a project, an ancillary project to go with it called Freedom Stitchers. And what we were hoping to do is to go into Gaza. They're going to teach us how to make the embroidery, and we're going to teach them how to knit and how to crochet, and we're going to try to put the product on board the boat, and the boat goes out. It's not going to be easy because we were all planning on being there in November, and as Peter said, we can't get in. We cannot get in. What we wanted to do is to set up a micro business, not just to go in and say we're going to teach them. They can teach us embroider better than we're ever going to be able to do, but to set up a micro business so that we could bring raw materials in and take product out. And the way that we were going to take the first set of product out is on board the boat, on board Gaza's Ark. We haven't given up. We are still planning on doing that. I always say, everybody told us we couldn't, there was no way we were going to sail boats. And we did. So I'm not going to give up on whether or not we can get into Rafah. We'll get in. We'll get in, we'll do what we need to do. We'll figure out how to get the product out. And realistically, the only avenue is through the sea. One final thing, there's a little blurb that came out, I think it was yesterday, where the youth of Gaza are saying that they're going to challenge the blockade. I think it's this weekend, actually. And they're going to challenge the 6-mile limit. Oslo, gave them 20 miles. But Israel stops them at 6 miles. Not because there's anything dangerous about the Palestinians, but because they're busy stealing the natural gas that belongs to Gaza that's underneath the sea. Gaza has 4.3 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. There's a whole chapter about that in here. And that's why they don't want the fishermen out there, because their rigs now all along the border between Israel and Gaza, and they're busy probably, we can't prove it, but we're pretty sure that's what they're doing. They're scooping out the natural gas. So the youth are going to try this weekend. I don't think that this is going to be stopped. This should have stopped when the flotillas got attacked, and it didn't. We continue to do this. We continue to work on it. Anybody have any questions? Somebody must have questions. No? Not going to ask me if I'm anti-Semitic? I said, this is the dumbest question. I was married for 14 years to an Arab and 14 years to a Jew, and if anybody has a right to be anti-Semitic, I do. They like each other better than I like either one of them.
I do have some video that you gave to me. You want to show that?
Is it the there's two videos that I sent. Is it the one three? Is it the one with the music and the?
I got all three.
That's the one.
You want to show?
Yeah. To kind of wrap this up, somebody had put together an entire set of slides of our trip, that first trip. And did you put the music to it?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and the music is wonderful. So that's the way I'm going to wrap it up, and I'll be happy when everybody breaks for dinner to sign these, buy them. I encourage you. And are we going to auction off the two shirts?
Let's do it, yeah.
You want to do it before or after this?
Do it now.
You want to do it now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.